how should you invest your next $500? Interesting, this question came up recently with a friend of mine who was wanting some help with her finances, and we were going through them. And she had put her money with a big name bank in their financial industry, or their financial experts, whatnot. They put her into a nice balanced portfolio, as they usually recommend. And I sincerely believe these guys are wanting to do the best they possibly can for their customers. But their thinking just needs to be challenged, because after 5 years, I was looking at her thing from 2019 to 2024. Her initial capital, or the value of her account with them, was the same as her initial capital that she put in. Maybe at several $100s ahead, and she had 6 figures worth of money that she put in there. And they had taken out tens of thousands of dollars in fees over that time, management fees. And I gotta say, I was pretty bugged. Like, I was so upset for her that this had happened to her. And at the same time, I went and looked in, I showed her some of my stuff, and my lowest performing, that was a really good period to be honest. My lowest performing asset had gone up 2.3 times in that same period, and my best performing asset went up at its peak 7.5 times more. And at the time, it was like 6.3 times more than what I initially put into it. And so that's what I want to talk to you about today. That's why I want to tell you where you should put your next $500 of investment funds into. Do you want to put it on something that's going to go flat and just, maintain a steady value? Which, honestly, if you think about it, compared to inflation, she lost money over that ground. We've had a lot of inflation over the last 5 years. So really, her money did not keep pace with inflation. So you definitely don't want that, right? 2.3 times in value and growth, that's really good. I mean, that's over any 5-year period. Most of the time, that's what you're going to take. But I'm thinking that you think like I'm thinking, and that you want something that at its peak was 7.5 times better than what the initial amount of capital that I put into it. And at that point in time, like 6.3 or whatever it was. And that's Bitcoin. And this is what people are not understanding about it, that haven't got into it. They have not yet seen, they may have heard of like, oh, there's Bitcoin grows, it's explosive and what, but they're not really understanding that it has a supply and demand driven nature. And the supply is almost 95% built out. Like, so over the next 100 years, for the next 10 years, another 4% are going to be released. In about 2034, there's only going to be 1% released, and that's going to happen over the next 100 years. But really, at 95%, 1/20th of what Bitcoin is going to be at its peak amount is all that's left to produce. So 19/20ths of it have already been produced. It's not really going to grow at all, relatively speaking, in terms of supply, but demand will grow. You are going to see billions of people invest into it. You are going to see countries invest in it. You're going to see companies invest in it. You're going to see communities, municipalities, counties, provinces. You are going to see them all invest in it. And then you're going to see AIs get invested in it. And these AIs are going to perform services and generate products of value for people, and they are going to charge Bitcoin for it. So right now, if you put your next $500 into Bitcoin, you are going to see some explosive growth over the next 20 years. And even over the next 4 to 5 years, you are going to see probably something very similar to that 6 to 7x return that I've seen over the last several years. So you definitely want to get some Bitcoin for yourself. Get started. Maybe you don't understand it. Maybe it terrifies you. That's why I'm saying put $500 into it. Put your next $500 into it. Follow my series of videos. I'll show you how to do it, how to move it to a safe wallet, and sit on it. Watch what it does over the next 5 years. And if I'm right, if it does what I'm telling you, what I think it's going to do, you can put some in there and you're still going to reap the benefits. But the sooner you learn this and the sooner you start putting regular money into it, the more it is going to benefit you. So again, your next $500 of investment funds should go into Bitcoin. And I've got links in the video below to show you where to buy $500 worth of Bitcoin. I'll have a link to my HODL 520 series of videos that show you how to buy $500 of Bitcoin, move it to a safe wallet, and give you some more information on why you want to keep it for 20 years. There's also a link there, and this is the thing I recommend the most. Click on the link to our school community. All these resources are there in our school community, and as it continues to grow, there's going to be more and more people there to help each other. You'll have an opportunity to help people share stories, learn more from Bitcoin. So again, join. If you do nothing more after watching this video, join our school community, look at the resources there, and they will help you to buy $500 to put your next $500 of investment money into Bitcoin, so you can start to get these benefits, start to see how it works, start to understand what it can do for you and your future.